Mother, man.
What's up, everybody? This is Marty from Schizophrenia, and you're listening to Murder Metal Mayhem.
Spreading faster than a case of the clap in a trailer court. Able to shatter eardrums within a 666-mile radius. A podcast more brutal than all the rest. It's Murder Metal Mayhem! This is Pete Altieri with the Murder Metal Mayhem podcast, and I'm doing an interview with Ricky, Marty, and Romeo of the Belgian death metal band Schizophrenia. These guys have become one of my new favorite bands. I'm so happy to be able to talk with you guys today. So how's it going over there in Belgium?
Good. Pretty good right now.
Thanks.
Yeah, I looked at the weather over there just to check, and you guys are about the same as here, just about the same temperature. About the same. So interesting. I talked to somebody yesterday from Australia, and we had an unseasonably warm day, and it was the same temperature there as here, which surprised me because usually a lot warmer over there at this time of year. So
it's actually pretty good weather here.
Yeah,
really?
Indeed.
Yes. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that's good. That's good.
I just can't enjoy it as I am in isolation. So.
Oh, you're the one with COVID. Okay. Yeah. I heard one of you had COVID. So.
Yeah.
So this Zoom stuff works very well for that. And then, of course, I'm all the way here in the U.S. I had a Danish band on a couple weeks ago called Killing, and they were telling me the weather in Denmark always sucks, is what they said. So that was kind of funny.
I can imagine.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Surrounded by water. All right. Well, since there's three of you here with me, why don't you guys introduce yourselves? Ricky, you want to go first? Just let us know who you are and what you do in the band so our listeners know.
Yeah, I'm bass player and singer for the band. And I've been doing this ever since.
Awesome. All
right. I'm Romeo. I play guitar. Well, no.
Play guitar. Well, that's good, Romeo. You play the hell out of a guitar, dude. Seriously, man. Both of you guys.
Oh, thanks, dude.
Killer,
awesome.
Man. Killer work. And you got the Merciful Fate shirt on, so you get extra points for that. And then Marty, last but not least, what about you?
Well, so I'm Marty. I do rhythm and leads. I've been playing for, I think, 8 years now.
Wow.
Maybe 10. Yeah, something like that.
Killer. Yeah, guys are friggin' amazing, man. Now, Ricky, how has the response been to the latest album, Recollections of the Insane? I got to say, it has literally not left my metal rotation since it came out on my birthday. How cool was that? So thank you guys for the birthday present. But Ricky, how's the metal media been digging on this?
Really good, actually. Really good. When we released it, we didn't really know what to expect because I think this record is a little different from Voices, our previous EP. It is a bit more extreme, and it explores also different genres. You know, we played a little bit more with death metal, still a little bit of thrash metal, and maybe some black metal in there.
Dude, that's exactly what I thought when I heard you guys. A little bit of all three of those things, but more death metal, like you said, with the new album. I know I gave you guys a really good review. I just posted it yesterday on the Murder Metal Mayhem page, but that's cool. I'm glad that people are digging it. It just came out February 17th. So my birthday is the 18th, and in here I didn't see it until my birthday. So I consider it being released on my birthday. So very cool. Well, I'm glad. And then the fans too, Ricky, they digging on it? You getting good responses?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's been someone that said I prefer the earlier stuff, but overall,
yeah, you're not going to make everybody happy, right?
Yeah, no, of course. But I have to say, the response has been great.
That's cool.
Yeah, really,
to me, it was
happy.
A noticeable improvement in just the songwriting. I like the songwriting on the EP. The EP blew me away, but the songwriting stepped up a notch. on this new one. And I do agree with you that it seemed like you brought in a little bit more of other influences beyond just what the EP offered, which, like I said, was great. So
yeah, we just didn't want to do a copy of the previous EP, you know. Like, we wanted to do something a little different, and also we really had no boundaries, no limitations in our songwriting, as we did a little bit for the EP, you know. We were just we just took all our influences, you know, and we just wrote music that how we liked it, you know.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, Marty, I really loved the dual guitar attack from you and Romeo. How do you guys decide on solos? Who's going to do which one? And as a listener, it seems like you're like literally handpicked, but as a guy from a band, I know that's not always the case, but how do you guys do it?
I think it's pretty natural the way we divide it. I mean, sometimes, well, I think like solos is always one of the last things we do usually. So when we have a solo riff, we usually we can feel like who would give the best solo for it. Like, we're very aware of each other's capabilities and what the other one is good at. So I don't know. It's pretty easy to divide that way. You know, sometimes when we have a solo riff, I immediately hear something in my head,
right?
And I'm like, okay, I want to try something on this. And sometimes it's the other way around. And
sure,
we have a riff, and then I just think like, okay, this is definitely a Romeo solo,
right?
And then I mean the other way around as well. So yeah.
Now, do you guys both, when it comes to songwriting, Marty, do you guys all write, or does like one person write a song and then the other? How do you guys do it as a band?
Well, I think it's always definitely a group effort. I mean, usually the idea starts with Romeo or me. We come up with an idea. We just kind of play around with it. We see what riffs fit with it, and then we make something general, or we meet up with everybody, and then we just kind of tweak it together. So yeah, usually it starts with Romeo and me that has an idea, and then we just work it out with all of us. So I mean, the songwriting is always very democratic, so to say. You know, everybody has to be happy. And if that's not the case, we just rework it.
Sure. No, that's awesome. Now, Romeo, what was it, what guitar player made you decide, man, I really want to play guitar? And are there any influence you have as a guitarist that might surprise us, like the guitar player for Britney Spears or something like that? Anything that might surprise us?
I don't think I have any surprises, but when it comes down to what guitar player made me want to play guitar, I would have to say it's probably Tony Iommi from Black Sabbath.
Nice.
Yeah, that's the first guitarist.
The riff master. I mean, literally
the riff master.
The guy who invented heavy metal. As a bass player, mine was Geezer. For the same reason, man, so dark, so wicked, and
exactly,
just tastiest bass tone of all time. Definitely a huge influence. So that's cool. You picked Iommi. That's awesome. What about you guys for like your first metal concert? Romeo, I'll start with you.
My first metal concert was probably I think it was Cannibal Corpse. Can't remember what date it was, but yeah, it was Cannibal Corpse. God damn it, I can't remember the dates, but yeah,
that's all right.
I remember it was a sick show, but
hell yeah,
a lot of beers that night as well. So
Marty, what about you? First metal show?
My first metal show was Sepultura in Trix.
Okay.
Like it's like the concert hall in Antwerp. Yeah, I was like 14 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, I was with Mortillery as well. I'm not sure if they're still active, but it was Sepultura and Mortillery and another band that I don't remember. But yeah, it was pretty impressive to go to your first metal show being 14 years old. It's
exactly,
cool.
Right. What about you, Ricky? What was your first metal show?
Mine was Metallica in 2008, I think, or maybe 7.
Wow, you guys are making me feel crazy old, but I'm going to tell you my first metal show, and you're going to get mad at me, I think.
Oh,
It was 1983, I think it was. Iron Maiden. It was 83 or 84. Peace of Mind.
Oh,
Iron
shit,
Maiden,
yeah.
yeah. I
Oh.
did an interview with the band that's about your age, and we were doing this, and he was just like, "Stop it, dude." I told him, I said, I was at a Metallica show where there was 200 people there at a small venue on Ride the Lightning, and I saw Cliff Burton like an arm's length away, and that was absolutely fucking unbelievable. Watched him do Anesthesia.
Insane.
It was insane. It was a blizzard, which is why there were so few people there. But even if the place was sold out, there was only about 1,000 people could have fit in there. So it was a cool small venue to see a band like that. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, holy shit. Like, I was listening to Maiden and Priest and, Ozzy, which is good stuff, but that's what kind of took me to the other side, to the heavier stuff and more underground, Slayer and all that. So I was fortunate to have been at that age at that time, because those were bands like Merciful Fate, that I was digging, and people in my class were like, what the hell is that? Never even heard of that shit before, so very cool. Now, Ricky, as I mentioned, I used to play bass and sing. Do you find that difficult to do? I mean, have you always played bass and sang? And, you guys do some really complicated rhythms and stuff, so I'm very impressed with the way you can handle that. But have you always been a bass player, singer?
No, like I started playing guitar when I was like 9 years old.
Okay.
And I always liked to sing, So I started like very young to play guitar and sing.
Oh,
it was
that's
mostly
cool.
like acoustic, but that helped a lot in doing the rhythm and
Right. Now, what made you switch over to the dark side, playing bass?
yeah, exactly.
What made you decide to play bass from guitar?
I was back then in Italy. Like I was, I think I was like 17, and I was playing in a thrash metal band. And I was playing guitar back then, but then there was like this friend of mine who was like really, really good guitar player, way better than me. And we just wanted to do some more guitar-oriented stuff. So like, I just asked this guy if he wanted to handle the guitar, and I would try bass. And then I've been playing bass ever since.
That's cool. Yeah, I had a buddy of mine that was a guitar player who said that they couldn't find a bass player because nobody wanted to play bass. So I was like, well, shit, if I bought a bass, I could pretty much pick a band, So that's how it worked for me. It was just nobody else wanted to play it, and I've always loved bass, but nothing against you guitar players.
Yeah, I find it quite hard to play guitar and also like do the leads, if you're singing and everything.
Yeah.
So bass was a bit easier to handle.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Now, Marty, I really love the album cover. Can you tell me a little bit about it and how you guys decided on that particular artist?
Actually, that's one of those questions that I think is best answered by Ricky, because the idea originally came from him. If I remember correctly, it was like you had a dream where
I had a dream, and in which I saw that the album cover, not as you see it right now, but it started from that thing, and eventually there was like a statue. It was a very creepy dream, and then we developed the idea. Like the first idea was a scenario like with a lot of statues, and then eventually we selected one. And so the job was done by Chaos Dictator from Serbia, and he was our first pick actually, and he took the job immediately. It was a pleasure working with him because he had a lot of suggestions, a lot of knowledge also.
That's cool.
And he did a great job. The image represents like this statue, which is a bit mysterious because you can't really see its face. You don't really know what it is, but It's there, and it's like massive, and it's creepy. It makes you feel a bit uneasy,
That's cool. Yeah, I love the album cover. It's great. It's different. It's not like every other album cover you see, which I think is good.
Yeah, that's why we didn't really go with the first idea, because the first idea was more like of a landscape with statues.
Okay.
But there's like a lot of, like the landscape thing in death metal album covers. It's
it's
a
been
little
done.
bit overdone.
Right. No,
So
I agree,
we
man.
tried to do something different.
No, I agree. I think that was a good call. Now, Romeo, after watching your recent Facebook Live, I heard you bring up the band Dissection. Now, I knew of them, but never really listened to them. I normally don't get into black metal, but after I listened to it, I'm like, okay, now I'm kind of hearing a little bit of Ricky's influence vocally, because it reminded me of it. Wasn't like a copy of it by any means. I'm not saying that, but I can hear little bits of it in your music. But what is it about Dissection that you would have called out as an influence for you guys?
Well, man, it's I don't know. I think it's mostly also the atmosphere that they create. It's such a different kind of atmosphere. It's really dark and pretty cold, but also the kind of melodies they use, they really sound like Scandinavian, and I don't know, like we really like that band, so I think it just rubs off naturally, like in our sound, so to say.
Plus the story behind that band, holy shit. I was Googling it and I'm like, because our podcast is part true crime and part heavy metal. And I'm like,
all right, yeah.
Holy shit, you got it all right here in this one friggin' story. I mean, that's absolute craziness. I mean, I'm a horror author and I couldn't even imagine writing some shit like that. That's just almost beyond belief. I mean, crazy. So I would agree with you. I mean, Ricky, do you write the lyrics?
Most of it, but
so that
not
dark,
all of it, but
that darkness, I could see maybe being an influence.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, like some, I find Dissection being also like dramatic at some points, like in some of the atmospheres, and some sections of their songs, and I think we did something like that, like for example in Inside the Walls of Madness.
Yes.
The chorus, it sounds a bit dramatic, like.
No, I agree, and I like that they don't use keyboards, because I'm not a fan of keyboards in metal.
Me neither.
So that was a big plus, because as soon as I heard it, I'm like, if I start hearing heavy keyboards, I'm out. I mean, a little intro, okay, here and there, it's all right, but not in the music, just not a thing for me. So
I think we did use keyboards in one song, but it's very small section.
Right, yeah, that's completely different. Now, Ricky, did you, or if you had to decide on one of the three getting run over in a Schizophrenia mosh pit, would it be Justin Bieber, Nickelback, or Kim Kardashian? What do you think, Ricky? I mean, Nickelback, Justin Bieber, or Kim Kardashian getting just run down in a Schizophrenia mosh pit?
I think it'd be Justin Bieber. I don't know.
Justin Bieber. Marty, what about you, man?
Probably.
What of those three? Bieber.
I mean, he seems like the most douchey of them all. So I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, I think I'd have to go for him.
Nice. Romeo, what about you? Just one. What do you think?
Well, I hate all of them, but then I'll just go with Kim Kardashian.
Nice. I've been asking this question, trying to mix it up. It was a Canadian band, and it was Bieber, Nickelback. I'm like, oh shit, they're both Canadians. So I threw in Fred Durst, figured like whatever, and he picked Fred. Or no, I picked David Draymond, and he picked David Draymond. So I just like to ask a little funny question here and there.
I mean, but also Nickelback, they deserve it too,
They do, man. They totally do, man. That shit is just awful. I hate it. I really do. I really genuinely do. All right, let's see here. Ricky, are there any tour plans for you guys this year? And maybe is there anything in the works to eventually get over here to the U.S.?
Oh man, would love that, but we have no plans to come to the US yet. I think it's also because of the uncertainties of the situation with the pandemic. You know,
Right. Well, if you ever play in Chicago, I'm about 2 hours south. You can stay here.
Oh, cool.
I'll cook you up. I'm Italian, Ricky. I mean, I saw that you were from Italy, so I got Altieri
cool,
is my name. So I mean, I can cook.
That's what I thought.
So I will cook you up some Italian food. It might not be up to par, but I'll do my very best.
That's great.
Yeah, that would be awesome if you guys could ever get here. But I know with the pandemic and how expensive it is to travel, it's
yeah. I
tough.
mean, it's tough to organize shows in Europe too right now. You know, so like I think there's a little bit of we need to wait a little bit still, but we'll get there at some point. But
we're getting there. Seeing a lot more tours coming up. That's really cool. So
we just got a tour canceled. I mean, we were supposed to be on tour right now, but our tour was canceled a month and a half ago.
Okay.
And we might have another tour option for the end of the year, like somewhere around October, I guess. But that's still not confirmed yet. So
gotcha.
We'll see.
Okay.
Meanwhile, we're going to play quite a lot of shows and festivals from now until the end of the year in Europe.
That's cool. That's cool.
That's
now,
good news.
Yeah, Marty, if you had to pick two bands to headline a tour where Schizophrenia would be the support, what two bands would you pick?
It's a really tough question. Yeah, it's hard because I have some ideas, but they're either not playing anymore or the some members have died. So it's it's hard. If like choosing from bands that are still playing now, like within kind of our genre or scene, it would be cool. Like Morbid Angel and Demolition Hammer or something would be really cool.
Nice.
But yeah, if I can just go wild and pick anything, I'd have to say Judas Priest or something, you know?
Right. I would say Cannibal Corpse and Misery Index would be badass.
Yeah, Cannibal Corpse they seem like super cool guys.
Yeah, I played, my band played with them once, and they were super nice to us, real cool.
I watched some documentary of them like on tour, and they look like a lot of fun, so yeah, that would be cool to tour with as well.
That's cool. Yeah, that would be a good tour for sure. Now, Romeo, the songwriting process, I know you talked about that, but is there what's the split on the new album? I mean, you guys all write each of the songs, so there's not one song for any one individual that you wrote more of it than the others, or are you guys all writing as a unit, like you mentioned before?
Most of the time, we all write as like the full unit.
Gotcha.
But I mean, some songs have a bit more like my riffs, or Marty has songs where he has more riffs. Like there's even some riffs that Ricky even wrote.
That's cool.
Or like came up with. So, but most of the time it's a unit. So
that's cool.
I don't know. It just comes naturally or something. I would say, you know, there is not really, we just write. Like if I'm at home and I'm just writing stuff, then I'll send some files to Marty or something, and then he can check it out. And once we come together, we work it out a bit more. And you know, if it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's just bad. You know,
right. You got anything cooking for the next one? Do you guys stay ahead of the writing, or are you trying to catch your breath after this album's just come out?
Actually, we had a lot of material for this album. Like a lot of stuff didn't make it on the album as well.
I was hoping you were going to say that.
Yeah, there's still some really good leftovers actually that we didn't use. We just didn't manage to fit them in. Not because it's not good, but I mean it's just we just didn't manage to fit it in. So I mean, I started writing new riffs like with the idea for new songs already, and I know Romeo has as well. So yeah, we actually come together and make it happen.
That's awesome. Now, guys, I always love to ask bands, what bands are you listening to that we might not know about? That's how I found out about you guys when I interviewed the band Warfect, as I mentioned. So I'll start with you, Ricky. Are there any bands like, unknown or, more obscure new bands that listeners might not know about?
It's a hard question because.
What about around in your area? You guys got any good local bands that are kind of up and coming? Maybe somebody that might be recording something?
Well, I suppose Evil Invaders.
Evil Invaders. Yeah,
those guys are good.
People who don't know them yet.
Their
I
new
like
record
them.
is killer.
I agree. Yeah, those guys are cool. I had never heard of them before fairly recently, and I checked them out, and I dig them for sure. That's cool. What about you, Romeo? Any bands that that you like that maybe some of us might not know about?
At the moment, I don't think so. I think.
Well, I'm going to give all three of you some homework, okay? I'm going to tell you about a band that I love that is very similar to you guys, I think. They're from Australia. They're called In Malice's Wake. 3 words, In Malice's Wake. They are killer.
I think I heard about it.
I've heard about them.
Yeah.
I don't think I've listened to them, but
I just recently told
familiar.
them. I just recently told them about you guys because I was like, man, I just found out about this new band, and they remind me of you guys. So definitely check them out. They have a album came out a couple of years ago called The Blindness of Faith. That's just killer. But they're streaming. Cool. You could listen to them that way. But yeah, I like to turn people on to bands too. When I hear of a new one coming up and. Just like mentioning it, like Killing, I really dig those guys, and Demolizer too. Both of those guys are Danish thrash bands that I like. So.
Oh well, actually, there's a band called Besieged that just released a new album.
Really?
And yeah, like after a few years, they released the new album, and I listened to it the other day, and it's really really cool.
Oh,
and they're
cool.
from the US, I think.
Okay, I'll check that out.
Yeah, it's killer stuff. It's like thrash death metal.
Perfect. That's exactly my wheelhouse. Yeah. That's what I love. So, all right. Anything else, guys, you want to plug? I know you guys are on social media. What are all the social media places people can find you?
Facebook, Instagram.
You got a YouTube
Twitter.
Channel too?
Yeah, we do have a YouTube channel, and we do have Bandcamp.
Yes. Yeah, you do. That's how I got your EP.
Yeah.
So, yeah, everybody that's within earshot of this, that's how you can support these underground bands is buy merch. I put my money up. I don't tell people to do it and not do it myself. So, like I said, I bought their EP. I bought the shirt, and I think, you guys out there, I know money's tight sometimes, but if you can, support bands like this because that's how they're able to keep it going. And speaking of these guys, I got a song I picked. I got all the new album digitally, and I've gone back and forth on which song I like the most. I can't pick one, but I had to, so I picked Monolith. Who wants to tell me what that one's about?
Well, I think it's best that Ricky explains.
Yeah.
Ricky, okay.
Romeo was about to say something.
No, I didn't know if it was a question.
All right.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to play it as we close this out, and I wanted our listeners to maybe know what's the background on it.
Well, it's the song. It's the one that describes best like the album cover, actually, the artwork.
Okay.
And it's about a mysterious statue, so the monolith, which has like some sort of magical power, and basically lures mankind towards itself, for like self-destruction.
Oh, okay. Cool. Very cool. All right, well, we're going to play that so our listeners get to check out some Schizophrenia. So thank you guys so much for taking the time out to talk with me here at Murder Metal Mayhem. And don't hesitate to let us know if you got something new coming up, a big show, a new release, anything. I'd be more than happy to have you back on. I really hope we can help spread the word here in the U.S. and beyond. So, everybody out there, buy some merch and support them, and horns high from here in the U.S., man.
Cool.
Thank
Thanks,
you very
man.
much, man.
Thanks, guys. It was a lot of fun.
Same for us. Thank
Excellent.
you.
See you later.
See you.
See you, man.
Bye-bye.
Mother, man.